Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Municipal Planning Commission of April 18th. Calling the meeting order at 12:03 p.m. Any additions to the agenda? Nope. I do have one comment. I want to thank Colt for his time here at the town of Drumheller. He has taken a position as a planner with Rocky View County, so hence why he is working out of his vehicle today, because he has started his new position, I believe. Nope, not yet. Okay, well,
Yeah,
soon.
no.
Well, so thank you, Colt, for your time, and we appreciate the work that you've done with the Municipal Planning Commission as well. So thank you. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda? Tony?
I move that the Municipal Planning Commission adopt the agenda for April 18, 2024 regular council meeting as presented.
Seconder? Shelley? And Aaron, I know you're online and this is your first meeting. Don't feel like you have to, if you want to just watch for this one, that's great. But you can more than welcome just put up your hand and I'll try to pay attention. I'm really bad at paying attention to the screen, so I apologize. Comments on the meeting minutes? Nope. All in favor? Can I get a motion for the summary of development permits? Sorry, I apologize. I am one ahead. Can I get a motion for 4.1, the minutes from April 4th? Shelley?
I'll make the motion that the Municipal Planning Commission adopt the minutes from April the 4th, 2024 from the Municipal Planning Commission meeting as presented.
Seconder? Art? Comments? All in favor? All right, on to 6. Why am I'm really rushing this day? I want to beat that 9 minutes. No, I'm kidding. Just kidding. 5.1, summary of development permits. Can I get a motion for that one? Art? Seconder? And Kirk. Thank you, Kirk. Comments, questions, Shelley?
I have a question on the second permit number, which is 532-24-D0023. Could you tell me where that would be located, maybe, instead of just Drumheller?
Yeah, it'd be located next to the Salvation Army. That one's it's in there just as a placeholder right now because there's a lot of contract and insurance stuff that has to go through. So most likely I will just I'm just gonna assume refused at this point until that stuff is ironed out. And then he'll probably have to submit a new permit just because there's a lot of background stuff, and yeah, it's more just a formality, that one right now.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? No. And so because there is a few applications for solar energy systems, rooftop solar energy systems, that is now changing in the land use bylaw, that it will no longer be coming to MPC. It'll just be part of the land use bylaw. And the first reading is, can you remind me again, Dara? Monday, first reading on some changes to land use bylaws, just so the public knows. So, all right. Now, can we get on to 6 point? No, we need a motion on the floor. Can we? Oh my goodness. All in favor? Good. Yeah, Kirk seconded. Yeah. All right. Now 6.2, 6.0, letter of concurrence. So I'll get a motion first. In a second. Oh no. Oh, present it. Okay. 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 Is Colt presenting this then?
Colt, are you presenting this one?
Yeah, I can. Okay. So on November 23rd of last year, Logan McDade of TEP Engineering first contacted me about on behalf of Rogers placing a 35-meter mono tower at 545 Highway 10. So the consultant has stated that they've been in contact or been trying to contact landowners in their sphere that they can kind of go within that Rogers has kind of laid out for a number of years and to no avail. So this is the first time they've got approval from a landowner. So this is why they move forward with this location. Telecommunication structures right now are a discretionary use in, I think, essentially every land use district. That's why this is at MPC right now. So the sorry, under the Radio Communications Act, the Minister of Innovation, Science and Economic Development Canada has a sole jurisdiction over telecommunication facilities. So what that means is, oh geez, if the town doesn't like a location, their only recourse is a letter of non-concurrence that they can send to ISED Canada, just showing that the town is in favor of that proposed location. But if a like Rogers, a wireless carrier, cannot find another suitable location, the federal government can essentially override any municipal decision on that and can place a structure essentially wherever they want. So as part of this, there is a default consultation process, CPC-2-0-03, the Radio Communication Broadcasting System, that the consultant has followed. So on March 1st of this year, letters were sent out to property owners within a 105-meter radius from the proposed site, which is approximately 3 times the tower height. Additional letters were sent to Mayor Kohlberg, MLA Nate Horner, and MP Damian Keurig. No comments were received from landowners or specific elected officials. As well, a tearaway newspaper ad ran for several weeks in Drumheller Mail. As well, no additional comments were received at this point. All required federal agencies such as Navigation Canada and Transportation Canada have approved the proposed placement of W6697 Raptor Ridge. As well, I should say that the health and radio frequency exposure issues and limits for telecommunications antenna structures is regulated by Health Canada Safety Code's 6 guidelines. So the town has neither the authority nor medical, biological research, expertise, or capacity to assess or evaluate any submission for telecommunications antenna structures with respect to these issues. I think that's probably it if you want to start questions.
Okay, a motion first. Who? Shelley?
I move the motion to release a letter of concurrence to Logan McDade of TEP Engineering Canada on behalf of Rogers Canada for the proposed tower installation project W6679 Raptor Ridge at 545 Highway 10.
Seconder? Andrew? Comments? Art?
Is there any way we can get them to incorporate a little dinosaur theme to it, like throw a pterodactyl on or paint it like a bloody palm tree or something?
Like we can definitely put that as a letter of concurrence as a condition that they need to do some type of camouflage if that's something you want to include. We can change the letter of concurrence that's attached for sure.
We we were asked about 2 years ago, and I don't know if it was Rogers or not, about putting up one basically at the consortium site. And we actually suggested that it needed to be disguised and look like a bit of a palm tree, to which we were given a very polite but quick not a chance of that happening at all. So we can make that request, but I would say that it's fairly low that it would be received. Yeah. But just as a way to disguise it. Well, I don't think it was a palm tree, but just, yeah, so.
Tony?
I just had a clarity issue with this as far as its reference to Raptor Ridge. Is that the name of the tower? Because when I initially read it, I was thinking up top of the hill, but this must just be the name of the tower to be located on that legal. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I know it was a little interesting that's the name they chose. But yeah, that's just the legal name that's being given to it. It's not being placed at Raptor Ridge, no.
I have a question. Is there currently a tower there? No.
No.
Okay, and I noticed it is actually less height than the current tower sites. There's 4 of them in the valley, and this one's going to be less of a height than the other ones. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's only
Yeah.
35 meters.
Okay.
It's one singular tower instead of the tripole lattice style you see throughout the town.
So
I guess
not what it looks like in their rendering, or is that what it will look like? That's on page 10.
Yeah, that would be what they provide is kind of what it would look like. So well, at least that's what it should look like. So it is kind of that one singular white tower, instead of the tripole large ones, the lattice style you see towards I don't know, South Rail or South Dinosaur Trail.
Okay. So if say we give a letter of non-concurrence, they're still going to go ahead and do their process and still put this tower in no matter what. Like they trump all the other provincial municipal bylaws. That's correct.
Yeah, yes. We can say we can produce a letter of non-concurrence as well, saying we don't like this site. Can you try and find another site? But again, if the wireless provider can't find another site in town that meets the radius they need to meet, then yeah, they would just override the municipality.
Okay.
And
No.
there was a case in Quebec where it went to court, and that's how this decision came about. Is yeah, the federal government essentially overrides any municipality decision regarding this.
Okay. Thanks. Any other questions?
I had one. Just reading over everything, it says that they're gonna need, like, just with this 5G technology, they need towers closer and more of them. So this is probably not the first one we're gonna run into. And they're not very, we were worried about the signs on the side of the road. So if we have 5 of these popping up all over town, it doesn't really look very good. But I know we're gonna get overridden from the federal government. But it would be nice to have something to make them look a little bit better.
Yeah, I understand that. So as well, because it is being taken out of the land use bylaw, but in conjunction with that, we do probably have a 12-page policy that I've worked on that spells out all the design, location citing, as well as co-location protocols, and then it goes through like an entire process, municipality wise. So that's the best we can kind of do just to like mitigate as many issues of these towers popping up as much as possible. But yeah, again, it's a federal thing, not a municipality thing at this point.
I think the ability to request, maybe that's part of our concurrence, is that it's blends in with the natural surroundings, so painting them more of a beige color as opposed to stark white. The, the ones I have seen in Calgary, actually blend in quite well. They're usually, it's very difficult to look at them and go, oh yeah, that's just a tower. So I think that would be part of our letter back. So.
I think it would be really nice if they could paint it to look like a hoodoo.
With a
Yeah,
pterodactyl on top.
we can definitely like add something to the letter of concurrence saying like as this condition, putting more camouflage for sure.
Yeah. I think if we just add, if it could blend in with the natural landscape somehow, as a recommendation, whether they take that or not. But at least we've done our part.
Yeah. And to answer your question or comment a bit, Kirk, there actually are several along 575 already, and some of them are 3. The lattice style tower that Colt just mentioned, and I think this is one of those ones where they've known Rogers is known for several years that there's a gap in um, service right around the Boston Pizza area, right? Which is, so again, we tried to tell them to see if they could put something near or behind Extra Foods. Tried to sort of pinpoint a couple of areas that were less visible. They had really wanted to be right at the consortium because that is their super sweet spot. But this was, and we were the ones that actually suggested this property to them as an alternative, and because they were having difficulties with getting people to put it on. But yeah, so I think they'll start to change some of those, some of the technology on those towers, and I know that there's one being proposed for Knack Mine as well. That was, and I'm trying to remember whatever happened to it, but yeah, so I know, I think we will see these a little bit more in the future, but the whole goal will be they're lower, they're actually, and they're more discreet than the giant towers we have right now, so.
All right. Any more comments, questions?
I just had a quick question on like process, I guess, or authority of like MPC versus council, and maybe Daryl or Cole could speak to this, but um so usually from how I've seen it, the like your town council would issue the letter of concurrence. So I'm just wondering, like, I know Colty talked about creating another telecommunication policy, and in this case, like, does MPC have the jurisdiction to issue a letter of concurrence?
Yeah, so so the consultant I was dealing with actually sent me a couple other letters from municipalities, Rimby being one, and they weren't signed by council; they were signed by a planner working for the town or something like that. So I feel that because it is a discretionary use, I think NBC does have the authority to on behalf of the town.
And and Municipal Planning Commission is a town appointed, or council appointed board. So the permission's been delegated to them to make development decisions. So this would fall in lines with this approval, so.
Yeah, and then that makes sense. And Colt, you mentioned that the text amendments that are going to council would be reviewing the communication towers from the bylaw. Did I?
Yeah, and just making its
Okay.
own policy that comes from the CA as well. The letter of concurrence would be coming from the CAO office now after a review.
Yeah, that makes sense, because by having it as a discretionary use in the land use bylaw, you technically have to issue an actual development permit for it, which then technically actually becomes appealable, which could create issues. So it's good to get it out of there.
Yeah, I agree.
Thanks, Devin.
Yeah.
All right. All in favor? You passed. All right, Devin, do you have anything from Palliser?
Just an update. We do have one subdivision application that's in. It's I'm trying to remember the file number. I changed my file page. It's like 80-171 or something like that. Our decision timeline, 60 days, is end of May, May 28th, I believe. So hopefully that will be coming to MPC. I'll be presenting as information in one of the upcoming meetings.
Okay, so that would be the May 2nd meeting?
Potentially.
Potentially, okay.
I have to see when the circulation timeline is done. It'd either be likely, I think the circulation is done like April 30th. So it'd probably be the meeting after May 2nd.
Okay. No, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's for 3 residential lots within Nakmai.
Okay, thanks. Any other discussion items? Nope. Okay, our next meeting is May 2nd, 2024. Even though Colt is no longer with us, still development is happening. Send to development@drumheller.ca for any applications. Do you want to add anything else to that?
We've, yes, so we've had, posted Colt's position once he told us, and so the development officer, and so we've received a number of applications, and we're just in the review process right now with them, and, we, we may have someone in perhaps by May 2nd or by the middle of May for sure, as a development officer again, so, yeah, and I guess thank you to Colt for doing that. And Colt has actually not volunteered. Yes, he has volunteered to actually stay on to help support us through the transition with respect to some of the policies, some of the development permits and stuff like that. So if there are people that have been talking to Colt directly, just emailing him, that would be okay for the next few weeks there. So so thank you very much for doing that, Colt, and yeah, I think people appreciate the work that you've done and the service that you provided to residents of Drumheller. So thank you.
All right, and I guess that's the end of our meeting.
Sorry,
to-
Crystal.
sorry.
I I just had one more quick
Oh,
question.
sure.
For Daryl or Colt, are you guys done the telecommunication policy?
Yeah, it's pretty much done. So we can send it to you if that was going to be your question, Devin.
That's okay. I just wasn't sure if you were currently working on creating one. We have a full one here at Palliser that we've created for municipalities. So I was just gonna say if you want it, we could send it to you, but it sounds like you guys are done the process already. So
Yeah, Colt has created it, and that's why it's about 10 or 12 pages long. So it's a great read if you have insomnia. So.
All right. So, Andrew, you did the motion for adjourn. Seconder. Tony. All in favor? Thanks everyone for joining us online. We'll see you again on May 2nd. And Erin, if you have any questions, just reach out to me, Daryl. Yeah, either or of us. And hopefully you can always come in person too. So
Yeah, I hope to be in person eventually.
yeah, no, understandable. It's good to have online too. So thanks. Okay, Colt, it was nice seeing your face online.